Donald Trump's ICE goons have been ordered to testify in federal court before Judge Ellis. Federal Judge Ellis said to Donald Trump's top guy at the Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, who you've seen go city to city to try to terrorize these cities. She said, I want you to be in my courtroom on October 28th. I will see you there. That's next Tuesday. And I want to hear from you why, after this court has ordered that chemical weapons and other basically terroristic acts being committed by the Trump regime against the communities in Chicago, we said that that needs to stop unless there is, obviously justified cause or reasonable cause of why you would be engaging in this behavior, which I see none of. You're continuing to engage in that behavior. Now I want you to testify because it seems that you, Bovino, who's at the top, are directly in violation of my court order. Show up. You're going to be here. Now, she previously ordered other top Border Patrol officials to show up as well and to testify under oath, and they tried to squirm out of it. Daniel Para, Russell Holt, and they're going to have their depositions taken, because what it seems that federal Judge Ellis in Illinois is looking at right now is, yes, if her orders have been violated, and then secondly, is this contempt of court, and will these individuals face civil contempt or potentially criminal contempt? Now, the issue with Bovino and a lot of these individuals with ICE is that after Judge Ellis made an order basically saying you can't engage in this excessive force the way you're doing it, you can't engage in chemical warfare on our communities, shortly thereafter, Greg Bovino led his ICE Gestapo troops into areas across Chicago like Little Village, and he himself was throwing these gas canisters at individuals, provoking the community. I mean, the lawyers at Lovey and Lovey, the lawyers who are bringing this case on behalf of a lot of people in Chicago, they brought video which says, take a look at Bovino. I mean, you see, for those watching right now, you see Bovino right there. He's got a gas canister, and he's going to throw that to engage in chemical warfare against the community in Chicago. Here's the video of it so you can see. Here, play this clip.
We're citizens! Fucking terrorizers! Traffickers! Get the fuck out!
You can even open it!
Where is my people?
And you can see him right there throw the gas canisters. Then he led troops into another area as well. He led them into the Lakeview suburb area in Chicago, which is viewed as like an upper class area in Chicago. Here, play this clip. Now, one of the things that Judge Ellis also ordered, and it's not clear if they complied with, but we'll find out, and this is one of the reasons that she's calling them in, is she ordered them all to be wearing body cams as well, and that if they're in these communities, they need to be wearing their body cam footage. And then yesterday, Judge Sarah Ellis expanded the discovery order into these individuals. So Greg Bovino will now be deposed from 5 hours. For 5 hours, it was previously 2 hours. She specifically wants to hear about use of force by Customs and Border Patrol in Little Village this week, with the video we just showed you, and in other areas. And she reminds everybody, preserve all body-worn camera footage. That is, if they even installed the camera footage, which I'm skeptical of. Take a look at her minute entry order here. The court modifies its order on expedited discovery. The court expands the time for the deposition of Gregory Bovino to 5 hours, Daniel Para to 3 hours, Russell Hott to 3 hours. The court orders the parties to include the use of force incidents by Customs and Border Patrol in the neighborhood of Little Village. on October 22nd, 2025, and October 23rd, when the court will address plaintiffs' motion to enforce the TRO on November 5th, 2025, during the preliminary injunction hearing. The court reminds defendants of their obligation to preserve all body-worn camera footage of any use of force incident resulting from Operation Midway Blitz from September 2nd, 2025, through the resolution of this case. I want to bring in Harry Litman from the Talking Feds YouTube channel, Talking Feds podcast, and Talking Feds Substack. Harry's a former top federal prosecutor, the main United States attorney out of the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, and top official previously at the Justice Department. Harry, Judge Ellis, who was appointed back in 2013, very experienced judge, she's not messing around here. She's made very specific orders. She sees the violations taking place. She has her temporary restraining order hearing based on what she's already ordered on a preliminary basis, November 5th. And so she's keeping a very short leash on this case. What do you make of all of this, Harry?
Yeah, she is. Look, first of all, it's part of a general trend we're seeing across the country, Ben, where you have these troops, not only, even as we're litigating, should they be there at all, you've got video and sort of anecdote after anecdote of their using excessive use of force, a whole extra kind of Fourth Amendment violation, and they're calling out. Remember what they say when they go into court. All we're doing and all we're permitted to do is go up to citizens and ask them a question or two. And if that then ripens to probable cause, maybe we can make an arrest. And it was already completely inconsistent with that, as we saw in Chicago, the lobbing, gas and other things. Remember the one down from the roof onto the priest or cleric. So in general, we start with this entire disconnect where the lawyers go in and tell a tall tale to whoever the court is. But then second, this is how things would typically work. You get a district court judge who has issued a particular order. Don't do X, Y, and Z. And the administration, which normally would follow it, instead, here's X, Y, and Z. It's not even clear that there's any even communication. Now, in the past, in other courts where they've doubled down and really infuriated district courts, the administration has jumped up to the emergency motion in the Court of Appeals. Judge Ellis's main order here, the one that said you can't do these things, the Seventh Circuit affirmed 3-zip. So I don't think they're in a very good position. They're sort of fit to be tied, right? They can now try to say he won't show up, but I don't know why. And she will double and redouble down. She does have contempt. And it would be, by the way, probably criminal contempt, because it's not to make them comply. It's to say you violated the court orders already. And, she's now like a dog with a bone. She's not letting it go. And the administration now is sort of being exposed in this dramatic disconnect where they, go in really like an occupying military force, and that's what they're trying to be. And then they go into court and say, oh, we're not, we're just really, making Terry stops under the Fourth Amendment and the like. So when a district court has you in its jaws like this, typically you're stuck unless you can jump up to the Court of Appeals and cry emergency. They've done that in the past, but at least Judge Ellis and the Seventh Circuit don't give them a very good landscape to do it. So I think they're going to be squirming and suffering and having long depositions and basically be under her thumb coming up. And we'll see this is next week. And then we have the big hearing on the 5th.
Yeah. Now, Harry, one of the things we're seeing with this Trump regime, which you don't see in other legitimate administrations, is usually the top people are not involved in this WWE, or when you and I grew up, WWF kind of cosplay, making the videos of themselves involved in it. So the idea that Kristi Noem is out there in like literally physically engaging in the conduct herself and then making herself susceptible to discovery because you see her. I mean, like with Gregory Bavino right there. I mean, he's literally the person who engaged in the excessive force. Like, it's not that it's someone in his command so he can make the argument, oh, why do you want my deposition? I'm what's called an apex person. You have to climb the ladder unless there's extraordinary circumstance. It's like, dude, we see you in the video. You took the gas canister and threw it at people who you may not like that they were saying, get the F away, but you were terrorizing their communities, and they have a First Amendment right to tell you, get the F out of our communities. That's not a violation by them of any law to curse at you while you've terrorized their communities. You and I are going to do another video as well that people can watch over the weekend about Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General. The number 2 there is also Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney. And Abrego Garcia wants his deposition, wants him to testify. And Blanche says, you can't do that to me. I'm the Deputy Attorney General. And Abrego goes, normally you're right, but you're involved in this. You're the one who's here. You're doing meetings with Ghislaine Maxwell. like you're doing these things. So you're now the holder of info versus a leader of this organization. So speak to that, Harry, because what's Bavino going to argue? I wasn't involved. We saw you through the gas yourself.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he could try to make an excuse or a defense of his saying, well, they were coming at me, et cetera. But that's not an excuse not to sit for the deposition. And, you know, as you say, he is right there in the middle. Smile, please, of the conflagration. So, and she's ordered it. He's in, I think, a tough spot to try to get out. And ditto Blanche. I mean, look, this is the fruits of what Trump has done. He's come in like a bull in a china shop to these various agencies and installed at the very top his cadre of loyalists and acolytes. And then they push around the career people and say, you better do this. And when this is unconstitutional and it's challenged, it goes straight up to them. Normally, you would have a well-run department. Here are the way things go. And you wouldn't have even ability to go to the very top because you go to the person who sort of did it. But the way Trump is running things is absolutely, it's going to be the same thing, I think, Ben, in the Comey prosecution. Comey saying selective prosecution, and guess what? Who did that come from? It came from Bondi and Halligan and maybe Trump himself, because he puts in and insists that his, bootlickers do all the work. They're the ones who, when they violate the Constitution, it looks to me, they've got to face the music as played by the district courts of this country.
There you have it. Harry Litman. Everybody subscribe to the Talking Feds YouTube channel, Talking Feds podcast, and Talking Feds Substack. Thanks, Harry. Everybody subscribe to Talking Feds YouTube.
Thank you, Ben.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.